Alright. Alright, so, looks like we have this Zyra replay going on. Golems. What? Okay, so, right away, like, this Shyvana's doing a really bad jungle route. Like, I don't like it. She's starting golems, which is really weird. And then automatically telling you not to leash, which is just silly. Like, at least, like, Nidalee, you guys could do damage on double golems to help her out or something. If nothing else. So that's just silly. I don't know why it's giving this attempting to reconnect bug, but that's really annoying. But as far as your matchup, so you always want to check like what the enemy jungle is and what the enemy mid is. So it's gonna be Morgana. You know, I'm not really well versed on Zyra matchups because, you know, she's still pretty new, but I can imagine against Morgana, that's not exactly going to be an easy matchup for you. If she's good, she's just going to black shield your E every time you try to snare her, and she's going to be able to shove pretty well with that black pool and prevent you from roaming. And then looks like their mid lane is Malphite. Oh wow, that's pretty scary. Yeah, so their whole team is there. It's a safe play for you to run up like that and run that way. Oh, Cookie's gonna get caught though. He's gonna be forced to flash. That's okay, because that actually, I think that actually is stalling them out pretty hard. And they actually don't end up taking the red or any buff, so that's actually okay for you guys. I don't know what Cookie's doing. He has like no HP. I guess he's just gonna clear out these race, but he's definitely gonna have to recall now. That's just weird. Anyway, but yeah, so against the Malphite jungle, you don't have to be too scared of his ganks. Like, pretty much unless you get hit by a Morgana bind, his Malphite's pre-level 6 ganks are really not going to be bad at all. So you have to be careful not to hit a bind. One thing to note is like the lane is pushing really hard already, so you're doing a good job just constantly auto-attacking to try to thin out that wave and balance it out. Good juke there in the bind. Good job tanking the minions so that they don't hit your turret. You probably tanked them a little too long there. You ended up taking a lot of damage, but that's okay. Having absolutely no armor, you might want to reconsider your rune page. That was a good E there. Landing that E made sure that she blew her flash, so nice job there. But anyway, armor is helpful on AP mid pages, just because, like, if this Morgana realized that you're not running armor, she would start clicking you a lot to harass, and that harass really builds up, especially running just base armor. You know, right click harasses are gonna hurt. So, and then there's also always minions. You know, you're always gonna take minion damage. And so, yeah, you might want to consider like picking up some armor masteries or something. Another thing is a lot of junglers are going to be, you know, physical damage. So very aggressive trading on there, and you end up taking a lot of damage, and honestly most of the damage was creeps, and it just goes back to kind of the armor thing. So you just want to be careful, like if you're running no armor like this, especially Zyra. That's 17 armor at level 2. That it seems like she has really low base armor, so just something to be really careful of. Looks like you're leveling your Q, which is fun. That'll give you your most like kind of poke, wave clear, everything. Yeah, so good job with you on you for getting that right click harass, like I was talking about. And that's exactly the kind of thing where it's good to have armor. And you see she has almost twice the armor value that you do. She's running like plus 13. Probably yellows. And I understand like if you want to go MP5 yellows, like that's fine. But you also might consider going armor. Like I said, just because a lot of junglers are going to do physical damage, you know, you're going to face right click harass, especially if you're ever against like an Anivia or an Annie. They have such long range on their auto attacks that you're definitely gonna eat those. Yeah, your range is pretty good too, 575. This is kind of a time for you to base. You have high health, high mana. There's not really a reason for you to base right here. If Morgana realizes you're gone and shoves his way up to your turret, you're gonna end up missing, some XP. But your last hitting well, 30 CS. You're doing okay. And then the 25 to Morgana. Yeah, that was a really awkward time for you to base it, especially because you didn't even, looks like you're going Catalyst. You didn't even have enough to get that Catalyst, so now you just have the components. So I really don't like that base timing that you did there. That seems really silly to me. You pretty much based for no reason, and I can't think of why you based there. So the other thing is I don't think you had enough money to pick up a ward when you came back. But if you go back to base and you don't come back with a ward, that can be really scary, especially because Malphite will be 6 probably before the next time you base. You have to be really careful with this aggression because Morgana's 6 and you are not. It's okay though, because you did a good job of forcing the missed bind on Morgana. So Morgana really misplayed that. The way she just walked up to you, she should have just immediately pressed R, and then puddle and binded you when the stun hit, and then you probably would have died there. But good job by you. You just kind of dodged the bind and kited her near your plants. That was good. You punished her for her misplay, and that's exactly what you want to do. I mean, since you're going Catalyst, now is a good time to base, even though you don't have enough money for your Kata. Shove this wave up to the tower again, and then you could get the Kata pretty easy. But you're definitely going to want to start being afraid of Malphite ganks. He's going to be level 6 soon. The other thing is that you're going to really have to watch top in this matchup. You have to really watch the top lane because of Pantheon. Pantheon can gank mid very effectively, just from ult or even just running down. So you're going to have to really watch it. Anytime top is MIA for even just a very brief period of time, you got to watch that. You're going to take a lot of damage for that. And so, no reason for you to die with your flash up right there. You probably should have realized when you got caught by that bind, been like, oh shit, this is not good. And then as soon as you saw how much damage you were taking between the puddle and the creeps, you should just flash immediately when that bind ended. It's something I see a lot of lower level players do, is the best time to use flash is early. The second you think, crap, this is bad, that's when you flash. It's not like, crap, this is bad, but let's see just how bad it is, and then you're like, oh wow, I'm 100 HP and ignited. That's way too late. But it was a good job not blowing your flash because you did wait so long, but you definitely could have survived that with flash. Yeah, so that was just misplay by you to get hit by that binding and to die when you had flash up. Pretty much if you have flash up, you should pretty much never die. If you die with flash up, that means you messed up. Apart from if you get 3-man ganked from all angles in your escape route, and you can't do much about it. That happens, but yeah, in general, if you die with flash, if you die 1v1 with flash up, that you made a huge mistake. So, and so you're definitely just another mistake. You don't want to get hit by bindings like that. It looked like you were maybe trying to tank the creep wave a little bit, but there's no reason to tank the creep wave when Morgana's right there, because if she lands that bind on you, you're going to end up tanking the entire creep wave damage with the bind, and it's just very risky. It looks like that death kind of rattled you, you're not playing as well. You did a really good job of dodging binds before, and now you've been hit by the last 3 binds in a row, and you haven't been CSing well after that either. You had a large lead on this Morgana, and it's disappearing. So if you do die, don't let it affect your play. just realize, okay, yeah, I made a mistake, let's not do that again, and then move on from there. So one thing is, like, this Morgana's pushing really hard, and when you're using Q, it's like you're just hitting the melee creeps with it. Try to hit the back creeps with it. I'm not sure if you'll clear them with just one Q, but killing the back creeps quickly, it'll prevent the push. Like, it'll slow down the push a lot by killing the back creeps. You just saw Malphite go through your ward. One thing you do is you can ping your team for that, like ping bottom, because that's where Malphite is going. Or your blue buff, one of the two. Yeah, so good. Looks like you are going straight to your blue buff. Malphite's not there. This is kind of awkward timing for you to get your blue because the wave is at your turret, so that's missed experience in gold at your turret right now. I'm not sure how I feel about the Rod of Ages build on Zyra. I think that it might be a better bet to go Doran's Rings, but I'm not sure. Like, I don't know Zyra builds. I'd probably just go to solo mid, check out whatever the featured guides are saying, or LOL Pro, one of the guide sites that are strong, not MOBA Fire and not like random guys on solo mid. Stick to the featured. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. Alright, buddy. Come on. Get out of here. Get out. Okay, so my cat was like just chilling, looking out the door. I forgot that I had the other door into this room open, and I don't want my cat running out. So. Alright, so once again, mechanical mistake by you there. Yeah, you gotta quit getting hit by binds. So it's like 4 binds by now that there's really not really a reason for you to get hit by. Like, pretty much there's no reason for you to be that close when your minions aren't there. Like, you're not gonna miss any last hits, and all that does is put you in danger of exactly that, getting downed. And then that flash with Morgana's bind, like, the flash range is, if Morgana's like directly on top of you, you're actually not going to break the shackles. So you want to be careful with how you flash the Morgana ult. Ooh, that Shyvana just got screwed. Well, that was good. You just blew Morgana's flash, which is kind of surprising. I'm not sure why Morgana flashed there, but... Anyway, you should, you don't need to go up and help the Shyvana. Like, Shyvana can just leave. Like, she has, like, no HP. She needs to just leave, and she'll be fine. You just need to go back mid and start putting, you know, heavy pressure on the mid lane. One thing I don't think I've seen you do your E on your seeds yet, and that can be really effective because of the slow it provides. If you know that like Morgana's on top of you, soul shackling you, W to E might be really effective. I also don't think you've cast your ult once this entire game. Something to keep in mind. Then Astaroth in chat is saying when you take race, you actually just need to throw down your W and then Q. So if you plant 2 seeds and then Q, I think your plants will just take care of the race automatically, and you don't have to stick around, which can be effective. So yeah, like that Q, I think you should be doing on the back creeps. Like, I feel like you'll instantly clear the back wave, and you'll be able to push much better with Morgana. I don't know what Shiv's doing. She doesn't even have ulti. Yeah, so once again, just
be careful with those binds. You know, you don't want to get hit by those binds. And another thing is that you're actually ending up taking a lot of damage from her pool. Try not to stand where you know that she's gonna use her pool. Like, you know that she's gonna try to pool the back creeps and hit the front creeps as well. So you just wanna watch that. So you're gonna help your team. You have to be really careful right here though, because if Morgana's coming too, you're gonna run into Morgana. Yeah, and you can't 1v1 her. You should actually pick up that kill though, so that's okay. You know, you trade, you pick up her killing spree, and so that's actually probably worth it. So you know, that was fine. Yeah, you just have to be really careful about that. Like I said, like if you come down here, it should be really obvious that Morgana's going to come down there too, and then you should, you know, just be aware of that, so like that binding doesn't catch you off guard, for example. This game is going pretty rough for you. You've done a nice job CSing. 110 is definitely not bad. The biggest mistakes you've made is just getting hit by Morgana bindings for no real reason. Like, you shouldn't really ever be in danger of getting hit by a Morgana binding. You should always be behind your minions, and if you don't have any minions, then you should just back out to your tower. But that's been honestly your biggest mistake so far, and pretty much your only mistakes have been just getting caught by these Morgana binds for essentially no reason. And Morgana went 2 Dorans into Rod of Ages, so you know, Morgana has a big advantage on you. She has 2 Doran's rings on you. You know, that's a pretty significant amount of health and AP and all that. So you want to be a little careful. Then you can, like, you should definitely be looking to like Q more. Just like Q between queuing the wave, queuing Morgana for harass. Your Q is on like a 4-second cooldown. That's really short. So definitely look to be getting a lot more Qs. Once again, another bind that you should be dodging. Anytime you're dealing against skill shot champions, make sure to run like perpendicular to them. So you run side to side if you're trying to dodge a skill shot. You don't run away. Like that, just creating distance isn't enough. Nice combo by you, but unfortunately Malphite's there. Good flash out, that'll keep you alive. I think you might have been bound for the Malphite ult, but one thing you can do is you can actually flash Malphite ult if you have fast enough reflexes. It's really hard to just react in time from the actual animation of the ult, but you can have like it's obvious when a Malphite's gonna ult you, so you can be really ready to do it, and then you can end up flashing it. The same thing with like Sona ult can be flashed, Malphite ult, Annie to ult Tibbers, all that can be flashed through. While it's really hard to flash just pure reaction based off the ability, but if you are thinking in like, okay, I think Annie is going to flash stun me, then you can flash right when she flashes if you're fast enough, and then she might miss Tibbers because she's automatically casting Tibbers as she flashes. Just stuff like that. One thing I don't think I've seen you do this entire game is use 2 W's quickly before an ability, like a WWQ or WWE, and like your W has no cooldown, and you can do that. You can cast 2 in a row really quickly. So you don't have to be like, I don't know why you're acting so scared right there. Malphite shouldn't have ult from the gank on you still. Oh, this Morgana might clean up though. I feel like you should have had that E. Morgana had the black shield, but you kind of waited to cast that E. Overall, like in that team fight, you were really passive. Like Corki was like going deep on this Kog'Maw, and Corki had lower HP than you, and you were still like being really scared. Like you can definitely help your team out here. Like, you can help your team contest this dragon. Like, they are kind of low HP. Like, you have to be careful not to get hit by a Malphite ult, but you could throw like some seeds, a Q, and your ult in there just to mess with them. Maybe even steal dragon, but you know, they're all pretty low HP from that. So you could definitely be messing with them right there. It's a little scary, but you definitely could be. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, they just now finished dragon. Like, it took them a long time. Excuse me. So you're still back to out CSing Morgana, which is really good, having that advantage. So you see 3 mid and you instinctively pinged your turret, and that's fine to get some help, especially because there's 4 mid. But one thing is, like, you guys don't need to all collapse on mid. Like, Nidalee is doing a really good job pushing. Like, that's what Nidalee should be doing right now, pushing top. Like, you don't need Nidalee here to defend this turret. You know, Zyra is going to have really good wave clear with, like, queuing the back line. Oh, Corki is just dying for absolutely no reason. That's kind of a silly tower dive by them. You actually just made a huge mistake, though. You stood on Morgana pool. Like, you stood there on Morgana's pool for a while. But essentially what should have happened there is, like, okay, you guys all died for no reason. Kog'Maw got, like, or Corki just took, like, tons of free damage for no reason. You took tons of free damage because you stood on Morgana's pool for 400 damage. That's pretty much all of your damage because you stood on her pool right there. Just very silly play there. And then, like, Shyvana just died. So, like, none of you should have died at all right there. You guys could have easily defended that turret against the 4 of them. While Nidalee pushed top, but you guys just ended up getting caught really bad. This game definitely isn't over. Like, they're ahead, but that doesn't mean it's over. Oh, I actually didn't realize how far ahead Kog'Maw was. You know, that's gonna be a problem. Kog'Maw that far ahead is really gonna be hard to deal with. But it's, I mean, it's not over. Like, you guys still have strong team fight potential. I mean, so do they with, like, Morgana Malphite, but Zyra is really good in team fights. Corki does really good throughout all stages of the game, you know. Shyvana's good in team fights. Janna's good in team fights. Nidalee isn't really good in team fights, but she can keep putting pressure on top and, like, forcing, you know, this Kog'Maw to chase her and stuff. Dang, this Morgana's tanky. That's her chain vest now for the Zhonya's. But yeah, just, like, you don't seem to use your Q very much. Like, you should Q right there to push it. Like, at this point in the game, you want to have pressure on your lanes. You don't want to really freeze it, like, close to your tower. Like, you want to be pushing and putting pressure. You guys can actually collapse on these guys really well. This is really good for you if they keep running this way. Yep, and then so once again with the Zyra combo, like, you only put 1 seed there and you didn't even grow a plant on it. So just remember, like, WWQ, like there it would have been like WWEQ. Good flash. Just remember, you can cast W twice. Like, if you're very fast, you can do WWEQR, and, like, that would be the better combo there. But good job picking them off. You lose them more, or Nidalee. Be really careful. Like, I didn't notice if Malphite ulted, but if Malphite didn't ult, you could just ult and kill you and Corki, which would be pretty silly. Nautilus too. Nautilus can just ult you as well. There it is. Oh, you don't get a melee range of the Malphite. So scary. Oh, if he landed that E, he would have died.
An enemy has been slain.
I feel like he could have hit a blind E there. or at least a Q like into the brush. I feel like you definitely could have killed the Malphite. I understand you're scared, you don't want to get Q'd, but that's okay. Just slight like mechanical misplays there, like here not getting any seeds out for your combo, not missing your E on the Malphite here, but that was okay. You know, you did fine. There we go. Fast forward a little. So another Misty on Kog'Maw. So you're able to get some seeds out and land that E on Kog'Maw. You actually probably could have killed him. Just depends on if Morgana had Black Shield up and if she was able to Black Shield the E on Kog'Maw. But there's definitely a kill potential there. This is really dangerous position for you. Yeah, because they're just going to turn on you. Yeah, really, really, really dangerous to come through there in a 3v2 like that. Like, yeah, Nidalee was over here, and you guys are over here. But if you come out like that when you're split, like, flanking doesn't work in LoL for precisely that reason. They just all rushed you guys and created a 3v2 while Nidalee was still over here. And that was kind of a really silly, risky engage. I mean, it was 1 for 2, and you killed their AD carry, so they can't really push now, which is nice. But, like, Zyra's really good at defending a turret. You have a lot of wave clear, so, really wasn't needed. Excuse me. So you kind of end up getting zoned and having to walk the long way through here. I feel like you could have still maybe helped over the wall, or at least ran that way, would have been faster, but that's okay. Oh, run from the... Oh my gosh. This Corki and Nidalee grouped up. Both of them have escapes like Valkyrie and Nidalee jump, and neither of them use it. They just forget about his passive. That's really bad. It's really bad, but that's okay. So you guys finally get the mid turret down. That's good. You guys need objectives like really, really bad. You can get Dragon right now, but one thing you have to be careful of is like their Res and Baron. Against better opponents, like they would be rushing Baron right now because they know you guys just based, and if you guys don't have any vision of it, like right now, that could be very scary. Never mind, because Morgana's chasing Janna, but against a better team, they would do Baron right now. Because you guys didn't put any wards up there, and you guys all based at an awkward time. Like, you push that mid turret down, and you were all still low, and then you all based. So instead, they're diving your Janna, but like they could have had a completely 100% free Baron right now. Just something to keep in mind. It's a good poke onto the Morgana. That's good combo there. Oh, bad ulti. Really poor play by you for that ultimate. If you can get, like, you just need like 1 Q on that Kog'Maw, like 1 seed with a Q, and that Kog'Maw's dead, and that would be huge. You guys have to be careful about taking a lot of poke here, though. Like, missing that ultimate is huge, because if you had ulti right here, this would have gone a lot better for your team if you had your ultimate. So once again, dying with flash up. Like, you shouldn't be in a situation like that with your flash up. Like, you should have been able to flash through the brush so Pantheon loses vision before he killed you. You gotta remember, like, when you get low against the Pantheon, he's gonna crit you. Like, guaranteed. Those like mini crits he does or whatever with his Heartseeker strike. So you have to be really careful about getting low with Pantheon. And then missing that ultimate is just like, if you had ultimate for that dive, like, I think you probably could have gotten out with everyone alive. So just mechanical misplay there. I am doing good. Yeah, so you're saying like we gotta shove top of mid and get ready for Baron. Like you guys don't want to force Baron pretty much. Like you're so behind right now that if you guys force a Baron and get stolen, or just starting a Baron and letting them engage on you in the Baron pit is gonna be like a really fast way to lose the game. And in fact, your whole team is just gonna get caught right now. What I would do right now if I were you is I would go Ward Baron. There's not much you can do here, and running through this jungle is going to be really dangerous because that's where you just all saw them last. So I would be like running my ass to Baron and getting that warded, because if you guys lose Baron right now, it's going to be very dangerous. Okay, Shyvana warded Baron. But one way you can tell this is a lower level game is like the enemy team is completely unaware of Baron's existence. They have had a commanding lead and could effectively like force Baron or try to take Baron at pretty much any point in this game, and they're not. So now they're trying to go for it, and this is actually good for you because like your whole team's up. They can't. I would be surprised if they could tank this and all of your damage. Like you need to be casting spells right now. Like you need to be casting spells to poke them off this Baron. Like there you go. But you know it's kind of too little, too late. Oh, Shyvana actually steals it. Nice play by Shiv. But anyway, I really feel like you should have been over here on this side and like poking them while they were doing that Baron. Like Baron does a lot of damage, and if you're getting poke on them while they're tanking Baron, it's very strong. You guys are still gonna lose this fight though. Just keep the poke, keep the poke. Oh, bad Morgana vine. Oh, where's the Q though? Your Q was up and you could have killed Nautilus with it. So make sure like it seems like you're not casting Q very often. The one thing I've noticed in your Zyra play is like your Q is you're like shy with your Q. Oh, you missed the Kog'Maw. But so like there are two like mechanical things with your Zyra play I've been seeing. One, like you're not double seeding before your combo, so you're only getting like one plant out, and a lot of these like harasses and stuff like that. And I don't know if that's intentional, you're trying to bank seeds or what, but I'd recommend you do the double tap on the seeds. And the other thing is like you're not queuing very much. Like it has a really short cooldown, 4-second cooldown, and you're playing it like it's like almost like a 20-second cooldown ability. So you should definitely be using your Q more like in lane. You should be throwing it out there to harass, clearing, especially against a Morgana who you know is going to be pushing hard. You know, use it on those melee or ranged minions. All that stuff. Like you just need to be using Q more. And then like right there, you landed your root on like 3 of them. Got Morgana binded, had vision of this Nautilus like 200 HP, your Q was up, you're rooted, like you're not going anywhere, you're not doing anything else, you might as well just cast that Q as you're running away. So excuse me. Really dangerous for you guys to run through there. Yeah, like an outer turret is not gonna stop them at this point in the game. Like your outer turrets are gonna be very, very, very weak at this point in the game. So that's a very dangerous way to run through them. I would throw that ward over the wall right here. Just throw it over the wall so that you can see Morgana, see if she's still looking for those buy-ins. I mean, there she is now. But as soon as you see like one of those pokes go through that wall, you can plant a ward on the other side, try to take away that advantage. So pretty much what's happened with this game in terms of your play is you made several mistakes in your lane that prevented you from being able to carry this game. Like, yeah, your bottom lane did bad and your top lane did bad. Like, your team did bad everywhere. But the big thing is like you could still carry your team if you minimize the mistakes you made. Like, you were winning against this Morgana until you made this mistake and you got hit by like 4 binds all in a row in lane. And that's at that point, that's when like you pretty much got really behind the Morgana, and that was the point where like you went from maybe being able to carry this game because you're doing really well into, okay, I've lost my lane just like everyone else on my team. So a big part of what happened there was just mechanics. Like, you shouldn't get hit by Morgana binds like that. If you can see the Morgana and like there's nothing else going on, you should be able to dodge the bind all the time, just by moving left to right. And the other thing is, like, you shouldn't be in a situation where you can be bound easily. Like, a lot of those binds happen because like you had no minions to hide behind and you were just standing out there with no minions, and you shouldn't be in that position. And then there were just mechanical Zyra play, like try to get 2 seeds out in your combo. Use your Q a lot more often. It's pretty spammable. It's like Cassiopeia Q or Karthus Q pretty much. It gives a little higher cooldown, but still. Dying with your flash up 1v1 shouldn't really ever happen. There's that one time where you just didn't flash and she just killed you. So flash early. Like, as soon as you recognize, hey, this is a bad situation, you flash. You don't wait and be like, okay, hey, I have 100 HP and I'm ignited, now I'll flash. No, you want to flash early. You did a good job CSing. Your CS was solid. You did a nice job there, but you just got behind just by mechanical misplay. So then that one tower dive, where you totally whiffed your ult. That was a fight where you possibly could have gotten back in the game if you guys really did that tower dive well and cleaned up. But you know, missing your ult and then still trying to force the tower dive even when you didn't have ult and you guys were getting poked down was not good. Alright, so I think that's all I have to say about that game. I mean, overall, like, you played decent. Like, it wasn't really a bad game from you. Like, it was a bad game from some of your teammates, but you can't win a game when your teammates play bad and you play not very good either. Like, you can win a game when your teammates play bad if you play really well, but if you're not playing well and your teammates aren't playing well, you can't expect to win the game. So that was kind of one of those. That was an example of a game where your teammates did bad and you did slightly better but not good. And so I think that these kind of games, it's really easy to remember these kind of games in your head as being like, oh, this was the game where that my bottom lane fed Kog'Maw. Is where like my bottom lane failed or like my team sucked. But as soon as you do that and you remember the game that way, you take all like responsibility off of yourself, and you no longer think like, you think of that game as like, oh, that was my team's fault, and you don't remember, hey, I should flash earlier. Like, that's a lesson you could have learned from that game. Like, I need to flash earlier when I recognize I'm in danger, when that Morgana killed you 1v1. Or like, I need to be in a safer position against binds. Like, I shouldn't get hit by binds in lane. It's another lesson you could have learned from that game. Or stuff like that. Like, there's definitely valuable lessons to be learned in this game. And any game like that, like where your team does bad and you don't do great, there are definitely lessons for you to learn. But the point I'm trying to make is, the second you go and remember that game or write it in your elo log if you have one or whatever, and write it down as like, my bottom lane went 2-10 or whatever it was, and that's how you remember that game, you've just successfully made it so that you learn nothing from that game, and that game was effectively like a waste if your goal is to get better and gain elo. Like, your attitude has made that game a waste of your time because you're not going to learn anything from that game. So I'm not saying like you did that specifically you, but in general I see a lot of people play a game like that and think, oh, how am I supposed to carry a game like this when my team sucks? And the answer is, well, you have to play really well. And if you don't play well, you can't expect to carry your team. So even though you played better than your team, you still didn't play good. And like that's, I see a lot of people have games like this and submit them where it's like their team did bad, they didn't do good, and they're very frustrated that they lost the game. And the other thing is like if you want to carry a game, you can't make big mistakes like missing your ultimate. Like missing your ultimate in one team fight when your team's doing bad and you're trying to carry the game can just lose the game for you. But that's about all I have to say about that game. Most of your mistakes are just mechanical. Like you were doing really well early in that matchup, like you had a distinct advantage on the Morgana, and then you end up just dying 1v1 to her by you know, getting caught by that bind and not using your flash. And after that, you know, she kind of just snowballed her advantage on you and got pretty far ahead. But overall, like, you played pretty well, I thought. It's just you made a series of mistakes, like you died to that Morgana, then you got hit by like 3 or 4 more binds in a row. And that's about it. But overall, you know, it was an okay game. But you just got to tighten up that play, and if you want to carry a game like that, you just have to not make mistakes, is essentially what it is. Alright, yes, that is all I'm going to have for that one. So I'm going to go ahead and take off now, but thank you for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to like the video, you know, comment below, tell me what you liked about this particular replay and what you didn't like, and subscribe. So thanks, guys. My next lesson I will be streaming will be Tuesday night at 9 Eastern time. Please feel free to watch. I might stream some over the weekend if I can, but I doubt it. It's my wife's birthday tomorrow, actually, so I'm probably gonna be busy. But thanks, everyone.